Imagine this. You're lying on an operating table, recovering from brain surgery, and a group of scientists asks if you'd mind listening to Pink Floyd. Not just for fun, but so they can literally read the music from your mind. Sounds like science fiction, right? But in 2023, a team of neuroscientists actually did it. They played Another Brick in the Wall, Part 1, to patients with electrodes on their brains, and then used the resulting brainwaves to reconstruct the song. That's right, Pink Floyd, rebuilt from nothing but electrical impulses in the human brain. Today we're diving deep into how this mind-blowing experiment happened, what it means for music, neuroscience, and the future of human creativity. Buckle up. This is the story of how the human brain became the ultimate music player. Let's set the stage. In August 2023, researchers from UC Berkeley and Albany Medical Center published a study that electrified both the scientific and music worlds. They'd managed to reconstruct a recognizable version of Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall, Part 1, using only the brain activity of people listening to the song. This isn't just detecting that someone is listening to music. This is next level. The scientists decoded the actual rhythms, melodies, and even the lyrics from the neural signals.
The phrase, "all in all it was just a brick in the wall," comes through recognizably in the reconstructed song, its rhythms intact, and the words muddy but decipherable. This is the first time researchers have reconstructed a recognizable song from brain recordings. The reconstruction shows the feasibility of recording and translating brainwaves to capture the musical elements of speech, as well as the syllables. In humans, these musical elements, called prosody, rhythm, stress, accent, and intonation, carry meaning that the words alone do not convey.
When you hear their reconstructed audio, you can pick out the iconic chorus, the guitar, and even Roger Waters' voice, all extracted straight from brainwaves. Here's how they did it. The study involved 29 patients with epilepsy, already undergoing a procedure called intracranial electroencephalography, or IEEG. This means they had over 2,000 electrodes placed directly on their brain surface to help doctors map out problem areas for surgery. During their recovery, these volunteers listened to Pink Floyd, while their brain activity was recorded in real time. So why Pink Floyd? Why Another Brick in the Wall, Part 1? The researchers didn't just pick a random song. They needed something complex, layered, and instantly recognizable. Pink Floyd's music is legendary for its intricate soundscapes, rich harmonies, and deeply emotional vocals. This track offered a perfect mix of clear lyrics, distinctive guitar, and dynamic rhythms. But there's more. The song's structure, moving between instrumental and vocal sections, gave scientists the chance to see how the brain processes different musical elements. Plus, let's be honest, if you're lying in a hospital bed, you want to hear something you actually enjoy. Pink Floyd's classic appeal made it a hit with the patients. Here's where things get wild. When you listen to music, your brain isn't just passively receiving sound. It's actively decoding rhythm, pitch, melody, harmony, lyrics, and emotion, all at once. The researchers' challenge was to capture all this neural action and reverse engineer it back into music. They used cutting-edge machine learning. First, they trained their AI models on 90% of the brain data, teaching it to recognize patterns between specific neural activity and musical features. The electrodes were placed across multiple auditory regions of the brain. Some specialized in rhythm, some in pitch, others in language and emotion. What's truly remarkable is that the scientists didn't just decode the words. They captured the prosody, or the musicality of speech, the rhythm, stress, and intonation that make Roger Waters' vocals so instantly recognizable. The brain doesn't just store the lyrics, it encodes the entire emotional and rhythmic delivery. Once the models were trained, the team used the remaining 10% of the data, about 15 seconds of the song, to see if they could reconstruct the music using only brain activity. The result? An eerie but unmistakable version of Pink Floyd, as heard by the mind itself. So what does Pink Floyd, straight from brain waves, actually sound like? The reconstructed audio is haunting. You hear the rhythm section, the guitar, and, most impressively, the vocals. You can pick out phrases like, "All in all, it was just a brick in the wall," though they sound a bit ghostly, as if you're hearing the song underwater or through a dream. It's not perfect. There's a fuzzy, almost ethereal quality, and some details are lost. But the fact that it's recognizable at all is jaw-dropping. This is the first time scientists have ever reconstructed a full song, complete with lyrics, instruments, and emotion, directly from human brain activity. This isn't just a party trick for neuroscientists. It's a glimpse into the future of brain-computer interfaces. Imagine people who've lost the ability to speak due to stroke or ALS. Current technology can help them communicate, but it usually sounds robotic and flat. This Pink Floyd study shows we can decode the musical elements of speech, rhythm, intonation, and emotion, potentially allowing people to speak in their own voice again. For music therapy, this could be revolutionary. Imagine a system that detects your brain's emotional state and plays music tailored to help you heal or relax. Or picture composing music just by thinking it. No instruments needed, just your imagination and a brain-computer interface. And for music lovers, this research proves our brains store music in incredible detail. Not just the notes, but the feeling, the groove, the soul. When you say a song is stuck in your head, you're closer to the truth than you think. This Pink Floyd experiment builds on decades of research about how music lights up the brain. We've known for years that music activates a network of regions, pattern recognition, emotion, memory, even movement. But this is the first time we've been able to reverse the process, taking brain activity and turning it back into real, recognizable music. Earlier studies could reconstruct simple sounds, tones, or even words. But Pink Floyd? That's a whole new level. Multiple instruments, vocals, complex harmonies. It's a quantum leap for neuroscience and a testament to the power of music. And let's face it, Pink Floyd fans have always known their music is special. Now, science confirms it. Their songs create neural patterns so robust, they can survive the journey from brainwaves back to audio. Let's pump the brakes for a second. This technology isn't ready for the masses. Right now, it requires invasive brain surgery and electrodes placed directly on the brain surface. The patients in this study were already undergoing medical procedures. This isn't something you can do with a simple headset. The reconstruction quality also varies dramatically between individuals. Some patients' brain signals produced clearer audio than others, depending on electrode placement and individual brain anatomy. The scientists had to carefully select which patient's data to use, and even then, the audio quality is far from studio perfect. Plus, the AI models are trained on specific songs and specific brains. You can't just play any random track and expect the same results. Each person's brain processes music differently, and the models need extensive training data to work effectively. The lead researchers, Dr. Ludovic Bellier and Dr. Robert Knight from UC Berkeley, have been clear that this is just the beginning. In interviews, they've emphasized that their goal isn't to read people's minds, but to help those who've lost the ability to communicate. Dr. Knight specifically mentioned that this technology could help stroke patients or people with ALS who can think words but can't speak them. By decoding the musical elements of speech, the rhythm, tone, and emotion, future brain-computer interfaces could restore not just communication, but personality and expression. The team is already working on expanding their research to other types of audio, including different musical genres and spoken language. They want to see if the same techniques that worked for Pink Floyd can decode jazz, classical, or hip-hop. There's something poetic about Pink Floyd being the first band to be reconstructed from brainwaves. This is a group that's always pushed boundaries, explored consciousness, and questioned reality. Songs like Brain Damage and Eclipse deal directly with mental states and perception. Roger Waters and David Gilmour probably never imagined their music would literally become a neuroscience experiment. But it's fitting. Pink Floyd has always been about the experience of music, how it affects your mind, your emotions, your sense of reality. Now we have scientific proof of just how deeply their music embeds itself in our neural circuitry. The fact that another brick in the wall survived the journey from brainwaves back to audio suggests something profound about how our minds process this particular song. It's not just catchy, it's neurologically unforgettable.